everything we had
between us.
Oh,
like
that
my
harmony.
best friend.
The one I used to go on and talk to
when me and my girl was having problems. We used to say it'll be okay. Suggest little nice things I should do.
When I go home and I let my head down, all I seem to think about was you.
How you make me want to leave the one I'm with. Start a new relationship with you. What you do? Ah!
God. Theory.
I think I like your new French forward.
I think I like your nose.
That's so funny.
I think I'm in love with you.
What? You love me?
I can't believe I said that. Why did I say that? Who says that?
You love me?
All right, so you ready to do
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. Yeah.
3 weeks and we're looking for your friend.
You never
Call you again.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Rap.
And I'm Tam.
And welcome to
Blah Blah Marry Me podcast.
episode number 4, where we're going to dial back the clocks a little bit.
Yep.
We're going to pretend like it's 1990.
Like it.
And I love it.
Want some more of it? We're going to talk about 90s, and that's kind of where we grew up, where we were in our childhood. And yeah, we're going to talk about like some old school things, chivalry, how our parents met, what the differences are between their generation and ours. So yeah, we're excited to share with you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, Tam, remember back in the day, like, passing notes in class, like, you know, you backhand it to like the person that's right behind you, and then they take it and they backhand it to like the person right behind them, and then they're like, you know, the guy opens it up and it's like, and you're like, meet me in my locker after lunch.
Well, first of all, I went to an all-girls high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. We should still talk about that.
I know.
Yeah.
But like, I did go out with
A girl?
no,
I kissed a girl and I liked it.
no, stop it.
Taste of her cherry stash.
Chapstick.
Yeah.
No, like we did have like guy friends because I went to like a regular middle school,
Oh, okay.
and so like guys that I went to middle school, like we all still hung out in high school.
Yeah.
So I do remember like having boyfriends, quote
Okay.
unquote, in high school.
Okay.
But it wasn't that like what you
It
just
wasn't like that.
described.
Okay.
You know, but I mean they did talk about it, and
So
yeah, it was a totally different high school experience.
Damn. Okay. All right. So we talk about like middle school, high school, like high school love.
Yeah.
Like
Calling on the house phone.
calling on the house phone, like having having the parent pick up.
Begged my
Yeah.
parents to have a phone in my room. Like it wasn't my own line.
Yeah,
it was
yeah, but at least like
it was just a phone, and I will never forget it.
Yep.
It was a like see-through clear plastic purple VTech phone.
VTech. Yes, I had a
That was
Panasonic.
cordless,
Yep.
so it was real fancy.
Yep.
And I remember I got that for Christmas one year. But yeah, like I remember when people would call me, like if I thought I was expecting a call, I would pick up like the first ring because I didn't want my parents to answer.
Exactly. Ooh,
So-
and then I can say like in my high school, it was a boarding academy, and like the girls' dorm, like their phones wouldn't turn on until like 9:15 at
Wait, what
night.
do you mean?
Because
Like turn on?
turn on. Like the dean
Like
had
you couldn't call them until 9:15 at night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the school only had like 4 lines.
Okay.
So like 4 lines between like 60 dorm students.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like prison.
It really
have to
was.
be-
It really was.
You have to be stand in line to wait for your turn to talk on
so
the
like,
phone.
like the guys were a lot more lenient. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the phone line stayed on all night, but the girls only had like 45 minutes between 9:15 and 10 o'clock.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's so
like,
weird.
Yeah. So like, gotta hurry up and like be the first one to call, or like just be the first one to like at least have like a dial tone.
That's so
and then
funny.
like, you know, auction it off to like
Auction it off.
Yeah. And then each girl had like their own extension. Like my sophomore girlfriend, her extension was, oh god, I don't remember. 915 no.
Yeah.
055.
Okay.
055. And then her girlfriend, if I couldn't get her room, I had to call her girlfriend, and hers was 052.
That is so crazy. You remember
I think so.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely different experiences in
Yeah.
high school between you and me. But I think it was definitely a different time for dating because, I mean, just the other day I saw a documentary on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, I cannot even remember what the title of it was.
Nice.
But it was called, it was about these like Instagram famous people, basically.
Uh-huh.
Or like how Instagram has changed the game. So they were talking about
Talentless people.
one of them took pictures. One of them was literally just a rich girl living in California.
Okay.
And she was like 15 and had like 500,000 Instagram followers or something.
Shit.
And but no, they were talking about dating and how dating how dating changed through that. Now I guess kids, God, I sound so old, but now that they just talk to each other on Instagram. Like if you know you know somebody, so back like when we were, if you knew somebody, you thought they were cute, whatever, you asked for their number, right?
Yeah.
And you called them to talk to them with like on the phone, not texting.
Yep.
But if they like somebody, will ask for their social media handle.
Yeah, and then send them
and slide into the DM.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's so
I hate that.
bizarre. That is so bizarre to me. I cannot even imagine. Like, how do you know if you really like somebody? Because we talked about people having different personalities and presences online.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I can talk all day. On like Messenger, like texting, and then like because I speak from experience. Like, I'm turning into one of those people, or I have been one of those people. Where like, I text you all day, all day, all night, and then when I meet you in person, it's like crickets.
You're like a hermit. Yeah. It's totally different.
And it's awkward.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't imagine that being your first impression of somebody.
Yeah,
is interacting with them through a messenger. Like, that's crazy. And you go, like, if you go to school with them, like, these were kids like that were in high school. And so it's like they would see them at school, but not talk to them. They would literally just message them back and forth through Instagram. Yeah. So anyway, it's just it's just completely, the land, like, it's just totally changed.
Yeah, but I mean, not only that. All right, so let's say, like, I have a classmate. Let's say I'm back in high school. I have a classmate who has $500,000.
Wow, I wish I had $500,000.
Me too. So 500K followers on like their social media platform, and so like let's say I start dating her, I gotta be involved in her social life, social media
she's
life,
posting about you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I like that very much because I'm a private person.
Sure.
Like I have a Facebook, but like
you don't even use it.
I don't even use it. I just like if I'm bored, I'll scroll through it, and that's it. Or if people tag me in something, whatever. But like, I don't like posting shit.
Yeah.
So like,
it's different. It's like the social media messages are the new age, passing notes in class. Like that's really what they equivalent to. But like we've made a lot of references, I guess, to like how things were back in the day, like what we would imagine.
I miss back
like
in the day.
how, because I think about like our parents' generation, and I feel like we got technology, probably it was on the uprise when maybe we were in middle school. Yeah. Maybe. Like I remember having AOL Messenger when I was like in 5th or 6th grade.
Had AOL.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, we had dial-up at my house.
I had MSN. Yeah, me too. I had MSN.
Where you'd get the discs in the mail where you would get
500
like
feet out. Yeah.
So like we would use these to get on the internet, and of course you don't even think about using the phone.
Hell no.
Because you have to plug the telephone line into the computer so that you can get on the internet.
Annoying ass, loud ass
and
sound.
It took forever to load. So I mean, but that was our internet.
Yeah.
That was the way our internet started.
Yep.
So, but I feel like our parents, they didn't even get that. That was not part of their dating life. So I guess, dating life, friend life, all of that stuff. So I feel like, had technology not been part of our story, right? Like our parents and grandparents' stories, I feel like theirs are like the same. Like the way that, in terms of the way they met people, the way they interacted with people. Yeah. And so, we've said we're often the in-between. The in-between generation, because we remember what it was like to not have all these things.
I remember like having a rotary phone,
oh
like
my
at my
God,
grandparents.
Me too. Yes. Yeah. So it's a crazy thing. But anyway, so just a little like background. So like my parents, they've been married for me plus 2, 34 years.
34 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they actually met at church, which is really funny. And ironically enough, is the same church that my grandparents got married at. Oh. Yeah. So it's kind of funny, like when things come full circle. And I actually, that church, went to school at the school. They went to the church and all that stuff. So anyway, but that's how they met. And, my grandparents met in the same neighborhood. So it's just kind of crazy, like to think like how similar their stories can be. Yeah. And just like what a different time it was too. Yeah. We talk a lot about chivalry. Yep. And what, that means and everything. Yep. So just curious, like what do you think that is? Like from your perspective?
Chivalry?
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you describe it?
Like opening doors.
Yeah.
Like opening doors to like a building, opening car doors. Instead of like arriving to your significant other's place and saying, hey, I'm here, like go up to the front door and like knock and be like, show up in person, like carrying a bag for them. Like, just like simple little things. Yeah. I still do that, or at least, I try to still do that. And, another one would be offering up your seat. To either an older person or another girl that just happens to walk in. I feel like that just doesn't really happen anymore, especially with this younger generation. Like, they just, not that they don't care, it's that they weren't taught that way.
Yeah. It's just interesting now because then you have all, the people that were saying about first dates. Who pays?
The guy.
Okay.
The guy.
But that's not always the case. No. Like, I've been on some first dates that have not my favorite. But for that reason, like, I remember the bill came and it was the stare down contest.
Oh, no.
And I was so I literally just put $20 on the thing and I was like, okay. And I left because and after that did not talk to them again because I was like, I hate to be like that. But at the same time, I feel like you asked me out, like you invited me to come. So if you invited me to come, then I think it's chivalrous of you to offer to pay. Yes. Like if I would have invited you to come, like I don't think that would be crazy for me to pay. Though I even think about you. We're not even dating, and there's been more than one occasion where we had gone out and you pay for it and you just take it. You don't even, you know what I mean? You just take it.
Because I was raised that way. I believe that a man should take care of, like just paying the bill, picking up the tab. Yeah. It's just like a thoughtful thing to do, like a thoughtful gentleman thing to do. Not like we're trying to boast. Yeah. Like, I got enough money that I can pay for this. Don't even worry about it. Like, no, it's just like a nice gesture, for guys to do.
Yeah. I think it depends too. Like, who's doing the inviting? Is it a mutual thing? Like, do you offer to split? Like, that makes it awkward for me, I guess, because my dad and, the two people that I was involved with before always paid for me. Like, I remember I dated that one guy for nearly 3 years, right? The first time I went to a movie after we had broken up was basically the first time I had paid for myself to go to a movie. Oh, and I remember I had sticker shock. I was like, wow, $10? When did movies become $10? And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, when did it get so expensive? But I literally had no idea. And it wasn't like expected him to, he just did. And, you know, anytime we would go do something, he would pay. And he wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm paying again. Or when, you know, be nice for you to pick, you know. And I always offered. It's not that I didn't. It's just that he never would let me. So I just stopped asking for a while. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And I understand, like, splitting it if you're friends. Yeah. But even then, like, if we go out, like, I still kind of want to pick up the tag. But, like, I'm a little more, I guess, just brought up that way, you know?
Yeah. Now, I do think it is different, too, when you're in, like, a long-term relationship. Like, if you're married.
Yeah.
If you're married, if you're cohabitating, whatever that is.
Yeah, at that point, you probably have saying...
Like, our money, it's our money.
Yeah, it's our money, exactly.
So, you know, you are theoretically, like, splitting things. I think that's a different thing. But I think in dating, when it comes to dating people... Like, you're wanting to put your best foot forward. And so I feel like that kind of, like, old school gestures like that do make a bigger impression than people give credit for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another one that I just remembered or thought of right now is pulling the chair out. Yeah. And, you know, and letting the girl sit down and, you know, kind of... what's the nicer way to say push to the table? Yeah. But yeah, you know, you get me. I just don't think that's in the mindset of our younger generations nowadays. Because I'm not saying that they're lazy now. I'm not saying that they just don't know. I'm just saying that they weren't taught that different way. Yeah, it's different too. And then another thing too that I think is happening now is girls want to feel empowered. Yeah. You know, like, oh, you know, we make our own money, and you know that's totally fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. But like,
I still think there's something to be said about all of those gestures. You know, because I know that if I ever have a son, that I would expect him to take care of a lady. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I would expect him to open doors, and I would expect him to pay, and I would expect him to, you know, be really confident about himself and. I don't know, but that's not the generation that's going to come up. So it'll be interesting.
No, and then and then I just thought of two more. So when you're walking down the sidewalk, the guy always is between the street, and the girlfriend. Yeah. And then in bed, the guy is always closest to the door, and the girl is further. You know,
do you know? Really random fact: where the whole walking on the street came from?
No, I do not actually.
So back in the day, whenever there was like no plumbing, people would literally just chuck their stuff out into the street. Oh, shoot. So the reason the guy would stand on the outside is because he would be like in... it would not land on the lady.
Holy shit. Like literally, holy shit. Damn. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that's where that came from. But
well, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while for us to get like...
How did your parents meet? Do you know?
My parents were introduced by a mutual friend, I think. Okay.
How long have your parents been married?
I'm 32. They got 6 years ahead of me, so 38 years. Wow. August 20th, I think, is their anniversary. Yeah, and I didn't know this until like recently, but like my dad stood up my mom like on their second date.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, like on purpose, or did he get the days wrong?
No, like he just wanted to hang out with his friends instead. Oh no. Yeah, just.
And this was before cell phones.
Yeah.
So she legit got stood up with no reason or explanation. Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah. And I had no idea.
So what made your mom stick around?
I have no idea. I really have no idea. I guess like forgiveness. I mean, you know, my parents are, you know, religious. Yeah. Or my mom is, you know, anyway. It's like, I don't know, but that's just wrong.
I like the how I met your mother. Like, you know, I like the stories of how people met. Yeah. So my my grandparents have got to have the most interesting story.
What happened?
My mom's parents. So my mom's parents are from Mexico, and my grandma is 10 years younger than my grandpa. And so I remember them telling this because I didn't even know the story till like high school, and my my dad is the one who told my mom, because he found out from my uncle or something like that. And so he was like, do you know how your parents met? She was like, I think I had something to do with my dad was drunk. Like, literally, that's what my mom said. Yeah.
Are you serious?
And so so they proceed to tell the story. He goes, so my grandpa's name was Guadalupe. I was dating a girl whose name also was Guadalupe.
Oh, interesting.
So they were Lupe and Lupita.
Wow.
So, you know, and they had dated for a long time, apparently, like years they were dating. And, so my grandpa was dating this lady for a long time, and the lady's friend, comes up to my grandpa and just starts talking to him. She was like, you're a good person, and I'm sorry, I can't keep the secret anymore, but she's cheating on you.
No.
Yeah.
What?
So she basically told on her friend. Damn. And that's what she's like, because you're a good person, I can't keep it anymore. Like, she's been cheating on you with so-and-so.
Wow.
So my grandpa, as opposed to talking to this lady like a grown-up, proceeds to get like rip-roaring drunk. And this lady's family owned a fruit stand. Yeah. And he literally went and like shot up this fruit stand in the middle of the night. Yeah. I mean, nobody was there. Nobody got hurt. Yeah. But like, it was the middle of the night. And so the police come, and my grandfather, I still don't necessarily know his whole story. I know that he basically raised himself, though. Like, he was out in the streets a lot, and but he had a godfather who, you know, took after him and really tried to take care of him. So the godfather came and was telling the police, like, you know, please don't take him, like, he didn't, you know, it's been a bad situation, like, I promise, like, I won't let him get into any more trouble, nobody got hurt, like, we'll pay for it, you know, all this stuff. And so the police, you know, obviously they were just like, okay, fine, like, that would never happen, but they were just like, okay, fine, that's fine, but you need to go wherever he goes tonight. And so my grandma and my grandpa didn't even live in the same town. They lived like in neighboring towns, like 30, 45 minutes away. So it's kind of like the valley, right? And so, my grandpa's godfather was going to a wedding in my grandma's town that night. And that's where he met my grandma, was at that wedding. And he was drunk because he had literally just done this whole thing. And that's where he met my grandma. So it's a funny story. I'm like, wow, Mom, that's great.
That's romantic.
That's the people that we're bred from. Like, that's awesome. But it makes for a good story, you know? Yeah. You know, that's more a good story. It's a more interesting story, I guess you could say. That's
crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't necessarily hope to meet my husband like that, but I think it would make for a good story.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So let's say you do meet your future boyfriend, husband, whatever you want to call him. Okay. In an embarrassing situation. Would you, like, let's say, what's an embarrassing situation for you?
I think the more recent embarrassing thing is that people don't want to say they met, like, on Tinder. Okay. You know, like, they don't want to say they met on Tinder or Bumble or whatever that is. That's not.
So what if you meet somebody who you kind of just planned for it to be a hookup? Yeah. But you guys, like, clicked. And,
I probably would say we just met through mutual friends.
Through mutual friends?
Like, that's probably what I would tell my parents. Is that we met through mutual friends. Yeah. But, like, my friends, like you guys would know. Of course, everybody on this is my friend now. We're all best friends. We've shared lots of things now. You're in this circle of trust. So, but yeah, and actually, it's kind of funny that you bring that up, because one of our family friends got married last year. And I was like, how did they meet? Like, I remember asking her mom, like, how did they meet? And she was like, oh, they met through some friends, I think. And literally, like, 2 weeks ago, she said something about an app. And I was like, wait, what do you mean, how did they meet? I was like, where'd they meet? She's like, on Tinder. What? She finally told us they met on Tinder. And I was like, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's a norm. She's like, yeah. And apparently she went on all these dates with people from there. We didn't even know. And more of my thing was like, I hope you were being safe and like not meeting these people in shady places and all of that stuff. And I think that that's more of what people are scared of whenever, you know, they hear, oh my gosh, they met, you know, on an app. Is it safe? Like, do do background checks. I feel like that's more of like what my mother would be worried about, is that to make sure I'm not going out with a weirdo.
Serial killer.
Yeah. And
Most
actually,
serial killers are born in November.
oh, that's scary. That's when my mom was born.
No.
Yes, and my sister.
Holy.
Ooh.
Oh, your sister.
And my baby sister.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't even know you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you didn't even know her. Oh my gosh, so sad. Yeah. Dang, I had something I was gonna say. And I forgot.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll come back to that.
Hold on, it's gonna come.
Okay.
Dang, I really can't remember, and it was a good little morsel.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I hate little morsels that just like fly
Yeah,
away.
it flew away into oblivion.
Okay, well, like a little trick, like you just like stop thinking about it, and then eventually it'll come back to you.
Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
I got it.
See, there
So,
you go.
we talked about AOL, like,
Yeah.
message,
Yeah.
like chat rooms used to be a thing.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
you would talk to strangers on the internet in these chat rooms.
I never did that though.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, okay, I did.
No, I kind of had like restricted internet access when I was
Oh,
younger.
at your Christian boarding school?
No, at home because we only had like one family computer,
Oh,
and
I
like my
see.
dad was kind of like protective of it.
Got it.
But it wasn't until like I don't know, junior high, maybe freshman year, where I finally got like my own computer.
Got it. Yeah. So my one of my very best friends' sister, and her husband, who they've been married for, gosh, more than 10 years now. Probably, I think we were in high school when they got married.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But she met her husband in a chat room.
No.
Yes. And this was
Interesting.
before like internet, like meeting people online was a thing.
Yeah.
And she met him in a chat room. And actually, he was from San Antonio.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, and we were from Houston, obviously.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so they would go back and forth, like seeing, like I remember them traveling quite often back and forth between Houston and San Antonio. But I remember asking her, because her parents, our thing, my grandparents are old school. Like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know what a chat room is.
No.
They would be like, what do you mean you met somebody on the internet? Like, how does that work? And so I remember I was like, how did you tell your dad that y'all met? Like, what did you say?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, we just said we met at like, it's like some club, like some really sketch club. And I was like
that's the
like it was so much better meeting at this club than it was to meet online.
Wow.
And that was the story for a long time. And
serious?
actually, I think that's not the story. I think they know now. Well, if they don't, they do know. But But I do
That's
remember
crazy.
asking, like, how did they say that they met? She was like, oh, she just said that they met at I think it was called like Corral or something like that.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess because he knew what that place was.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what a chat room is. That's harder to explain. So, but yeah, I remember them meeting like that and thinking, oh my gosh, that's so like odd,
Yeah.
because it wasn't the norm.
But that's true. That's true. But like in that day, chat rooms grew to be the norm, and
Yeah.
now like it seems like chat rooms are like for how to catch a predator. You ever see that?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know that chat rooms aren't necessarily a thing anymore, right? Because like you have like GChat.
No.
Like it's not really.
I don't know. I never went on chat room, so I have no idea.
Well,
Like the only chatting I used to do in high school or junior high was like pass like little notes, in class and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like we'll fold them into like little footballs or like, whatever. And then just like, we'd either like throw it across the classroom or like, we'll just secretly under the desk, like, pass along notes.
I had some friends who were really skilled in note making.
Oh, really?
Like note making shapes.
What? What's that word? Origami?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, and I never could fold it back the way that it came. It
I
would
know.
be like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
there was no dotted line fold here. It was just like, it's just going back in a square.
Yeah, but like
So-
before like texting, that was the way to communicate during
Yeah.
class, was like just passing notes. And I remember at the end of almost every school year, like I would have like a shoebox full of like notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember, because, okay, I went to an all-girl high school. I mean, we passed notes, but not like in a I like you, check yes or no type thing. It was just it was like, hey, oh my God, I can't believe we did this in this class. And did you see, like, it was more of like gossipy stuff. Cause I mean, you went to school with all girls, so it's bound to happen.
Yep.
And, I remember one of my friends used to do that. She would keep all of the notes like from school.
Yeah.
And I remember she had a boyfriend and she wasn't supposed to have a boyfriend. And I remember writing her a note saying like, I'm so happy for you guys. And if you ever need me to like cover for you, like I'll say that I like went to the movies with you and you can go meet him. And like, I remember being like, yeah, I know, right? Really such a rule breaker. And she kept all of these notes. And I think her dad found them or something. And he was like all pissed off when she got home.
Yeah.
And that she was like, oh, I think she called me that night or something and was like, my dad found my box of notes. And I was like, I'll write you another one. Like just to say, like, I was just kidding. And literally I remember writing that in this note. I was totally just kidding. I would get in so much trouble if I ever did that.
Wow.
And she like put it in the box so that way like he could find it and like read it and be
nice
like,
save.
oh,
Nice save.
yeah. I'm sure he did not even believe that because he was saying, I remember I was like, did you put it in the box? Like, did you, like, are you okay? Are you not in trouble anymore? And she was like, yeah. He was like, how do I know that you just didn't tell her to write this right now? How do I know that she just, and she was like, well, I don't know. You're just going to have to trust me. Like, throwing it back and, so, I mean, parents know everything.
Yeah,
I think
they do.
Kids are so stupid
Yeah, totally.
I worked at schools for a long time and like looking at middle school kids, I was like, wow, they really think they're getting away with this, huh? No, we're just letting them have their little fun. And then, and then drop the hammer a little bit later, but.
Holy shit, you totally reminded me of a story that happened like back when I was in junior high. Like it was me, two other dudes, and we got together and we stole this folder full of notes between these three girls.
Yeah.
These three girls were kind of like the hottest in junior high.
Okay.
And like within that folder was like all their notes, like all their secrets.
Their
and everything.
notes?
Yes, their notes.
All
like,
their secrets and everything.
Yes.
Their burn book.
Exactly. And so like we stayed after school and we went into their locker and one of my friends, he stole it. And so like we had it for like a week. We were just like we divided all the notes between the three of us. So like every day, like at recess or PE or like, whenever we had free time, we like come back together and like, hey, so and so like likes this person, so and so ranks this person hotter than this other person.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was just but yeah, they found out that we took it and we got in trouble and
You got in trouble with the school?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, because we stole from them, but like it wasn't even like we had like 2 weeks of like no recess or something like that, and we had like
recess.
yeah, and we had like to write like 1,000 word sentences or 1,000 sentences of I will not steal notes from my classmates or something like
Oh my gosh,
that.
that's so stupid.
I know, but like yeah, it was just like a slap on the wrist for like the shit that we found out.
It was worth it, basically, is what you're saying.
It was.
That's so
good
funny.
times. And the girls like that found out like they weren't even all that mad.
Yeah.
That's
Well, then why'd they even say anything?
I don't know. It's a small school. Like, I went to private school.
And I'm sure that it was like the talk of the school, of the middle school. Oh my gosh, did you hear that so-and-so broke into their locker and stole this?
Only with the upper grades, yeah.
Y'all were like so cool.
Yeah.
Y'all were rule breakers.
Exactly.
That's hot. I'm sure like.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Funny.
Oh, man. I miss those days.
I know. Well, and then it's funny because like I said, like this generation, like our kids, like will not have these kinds of stories.
No.
Because, it's
you know what
kind
they
of
will
going
never have
away.
anymore?
What?
Is calling the person on a landline and having like the parent pick up and asking for like, hello?
That's literally my heart beating in my chest right now thinking about that.
Is Kimberly home?
Right?
Like, hello, Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Is Kimberly home? No. And then she just hangs up.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think that happened to me, but like, Yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
It's
And
like,
like,
it was like my heart's beating in my chest thinking about it because I had middle school boyfriends, which is so.
Did you ever make calls, or were you the one?
I was the one receiving the calls.
Okay, so you had to be like on the standby
on the
right by the phone.
I had to sit right by the phone to make sure nobody else answered it.
Yeah.
But like I remember one time, one of my middle school boyfriends, he I don't know what the reasoning was, but like my parents didn't know because my dad literally like scared the crap out of me when I was younger. It said that I could not have a boyfriend ever, and if I did, that he would lose his shit. So I was just like, never had a boyfriend.
Okay.
But,
that they know of.
Yeah. And so this person, like his parents knew, and it was just really funny because we made up names. Like he didn't want to tell them who I was at school. And I don't remember, I like now that I'm saying this out loud, do not remember the reasoning behind that. And so I would call his house and be like, is, so-and-so there? And they'd be like, who's this? And I'd use my fake name. Like,
what? Wow.
This is the stupidest thing. I am saying this out loud and it is the dumbest thing ever. I don't know why. Honestly, I do not know what the reason behind that was. But it's weird, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, but anyway, I remember calling him, calling his house to talk to him, and he would call mine. And I remember one time I was on the phone like super late. And I had a walk-in closet with my cordless purple VTech phone, And so I would just go into my closet and close the door and talk to him on the phone. Yeah. Usually my mom would come and get me off about 9, but for some, she never came in that day, to get me off of the phone. And so I remember my baby sister, cause she got to do whatever she wanted.
Of course.
And she was little, 2 or 3. And she came in my room and she knew I was in there. So she was banging for me to get out. Yeah. And so I remember she came and I walked outside because by this time, I think my mom had put the phone in her room, my cordless phone.
Oh, really?
So that I had to go in and charge it in her room. So she knew. And so I remember I walked in there and I was rubbing my eyes,
trying to play it off.
Yeah, walking to put the phone, and she was like, "I thought you were sleeping," and I was like, "I was, but she woke me up."
Nice.
And she was like, "Oh, okay, good night," and I was just it, and I went back to, to bed. But
the worst things about still having landlines.
Tell me.
So my high school was a boarding academy, and so I had a girlfriend that lived out of town, and she was.
What do you mean lived out of town if you went to the... Oh, just kidding. She was from another town.
Yeah, she was from another town.
Got it.
But lived there at the dorm, at the boarding academy. So on the breaks, winter break, she'll go back home, and then we didn't have any cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to call her house phone.
Oh, gosh.
Long distance.
And
then I don't know if you remember,
you have to pay for long distance.
Yes. Oh, my mom got so mad at me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I tried doing, I don't know if you remember the commercials, 10, 10, 3, 2, 1. It's 10 cents for the first minute, and then a penny or 10, shit, I forget.
It was some kind of special.
It was, yeah. It was
special
10,
rates.
10, 10, 3, 2, 1, or 10, 10, 2, 2, 1, or something, some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And so okay, I'm just gonna do that, and then it shouldn't cost my parents anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that didn't work.
What happened?
That didn't work. Oh,
you got bamboozled.
I did. I got.
So how much was the phone bill?
I don't know, close to $500.
Shut up! Oh my gosh, my mom would have killed me. Killed me. And then how do you explain that? What did you say?
Nothing. Because she knew I had a girlfriend. And she knew that she was...
I thought you had to come up with some story like that.
No, it just... she knew who I was talking to. I mean, she knew who I was talking to. It's just
She didn't make you mow the lawn or anything for that?
No, I just... I couldn't... When she got the phone bill, I just couldn't call her long distance anymore.
Only child.
Yep. Yep. Oh, but then when I did get a cell phone...
Yeah.
There was still no long distance.
Yeah.
And I only had 1,300 minutes a month.
Oh my God, you remember when they used to cap minutes like that?
Yes, it was 300 for the weekdays.
Yeah.
And then 1,000 minutes for the weekends. Not even starting at night.
Free after 9?
Not even free after 9.
Dang.
It was Singular. Remember Singular?
Yeah, I remember Singular.
Or no, it was Southwestern Bell. Then it turned into Singular.
Dang, you're old.
And, I have one of those brick Nokia phones. That
I still have one of those Nokias.
Are you serious?
The old ones?
Yeah.
It like still turns on, but I couldn't find a charger for it. So I only turn it on every once in a while just to see if it can.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know how you used to play Snake?
Yes. Like my highest score was like 700 something.
Yeah,
or
I used to play Snake. That was like bomb.com.
God, man.
They were black and white.
Yep.
Like complete trash on these screens.
I know.
No touch screen. They would not die. Those Nokia phones were tried and true.
Yep.
Like iPhone has literally nothing on them because these phones are indestructible.
That's why iPhone can go suck a dick.
Hey. Hope you choke on that.
Oh man, I miss those days.
Yeah.
It's like it's fun, like just talking about it and like reliving it. It just makes me feel like.
Did you ever have songs? Did you ever dedicate songs on the radio?
You know what? I did not.
Dang.
I did not do that. But I love listening to Hot 99.
Okay.
Or Midnight Magic. I forgot what it was.
So I remember when it wasn't TRL. It was another music channel.
VH1?
No. It was like you could pay to put the music video on a queue. And if you did that, you got to write something in the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what the channel was called. But
Much Music or something.
I don't know, but it was literally just music videos.
Yeah,
24/7.
Yeah.
And you could like call to put you could pay to put
and
a
it was like
video.
a little like a lower third in the bottom.
It would scroll.
Yeah, like a
it
ticket.
would like a scroll message at the bottom.
Yep.
And
blah,
so
blah, blah.
yeah, so I just
Marry
remember and so I just remember people doing that. Like that they would be like, "Oh my God, did you see that so and so wrote so and so a message on that stupid I can't even remember what this channel was."
I'm pretty sure it was Much Music, or that might have been like a.
What
I don't
happened
know.
to that? We need to bring that back. I bet you the kids now would love it because
Whatever happened to MTV Music TV?
Because things like Doc Martens are making a comeback.
Doc Martin still
like,
suck.
but you know what I mean. What is old is new. So I feel like that.
Like
we
Bell
should
Bottoms made a comeback for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna die if Jenko jeans become a thing again.
Oh, I never had a pair of Jinko jeans, but you know what? That looks so much better than fucking skinny jeans.
Die if those make a comeback. It's just funny, like talking about this stuff. So
I miss the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s were on and popping. Like
I know.
Really, it was.
So wait, did you have a boyfriend in high school?
No.
Okay, so you don't know the fear and the nervousness and the heart attack that happened when your high school boyfriend met your parents for the first time?
Yeah, no. The first person that my parents ever met was the guy that I dated in my early 20s. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the only person they've ever met.
Okay.
So, because I feel like family is that's the last stop.
Okay.
Like really and honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you're meeting my family in any kind of way, then you're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is because I very much value like my family's opinions and want them to be part of my life, and so I want everybody to get along as best as they can. So if you've already made it through my friends, you know, then basically my friends are your first stop.
Yep.
Family's the last one.
Yep. You know what? I think my sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken, for Thanksgiving, I think I went to my girlfriend's.
What? In high school?
Yeah, in high school.
Weird.
Yeah, I think so.
My parents would never.
Well, cause, yeah, no shit.
They would
like
never.
What normal parents? But no, I think it was okay because my ex-girlfriend's family knew my family from that area of Texas. Like, they went to the same church. They grew up together. So it's like you know, when I went to go over there for Thanksgiving, like I even saw my family over there too.
Interesting. So like, do you think your family carries a lot of weight, like in their opinion of who you date? Like, is it important for you that they get along?
Yes.
Yeah.
And no. Yes, it is important, but does it carry a lot of weight? I'd say not so much.
Probably not.
I think I know for sure for my mom, I know she would say, as long as I'm happy, and not alone, like she tells me all the damn time, she'd be okay.
Got it.
Yeah, she'd be okay. And like she has a lot of patience, and she's very observant, so like I get that from her. So she knows that whoever I take home, like I've already like
you vetted them.
Yeah, I vetted them, and so if she's good enough for me, then she'll be good enough for my family.
Got it. I was listening to this song. It was like a new artist on this morning show that I listened to, and she was saying that she wrote this song, and I believe it was called "More Hearts Than Mine." And basically, it's a new song, but it's
don't know.
Yeah, it's the premise of the song is that I want to be intentional with who I date and why we're dating. Okay. Because if I take you home, like you're my family's family.
Oh.
They're going to love you. My dad's going to take you fishing.
Yeah.
My mom's going to want to know where you grew up.
Okay.
And if we break up, you're going to break more hearts than mine.
Yeah.
Because you will have broken my family's hearts, because they will have forged this bond with you and welcomed you into our family. So if you're not going to stick around, then what's the point? So anyway, I thought it was just an interesting song, like an interesting thought, because it is true. Like people in my family have dated people, and we've gotten to know them and embrace them and love them, and they've been part of our lives just as much as theirs. People in my family when they've dated people and they've brought them home, and we've like completely embraced them as part of our family, and they've been part of all of our major family holidays and events and all of that great stuff. And like when it doesn't work out, it's like, but why? Like, it's like, and you can't help but feel a little bit sad, but also on the other side, want your family member to be happy. Yeah. And so if that's not with that person, got my family's back 1,000%. Like I will never, you know what I mean? Like I'm always going to have their back, and it can be as irrational as they think it is or whatever their thought process is, but I'm going to have their back like 100%. And so
if they don't like the guy that you bring home,
that might be an issue for me. But I feel like
they have a good reason.
Yeah.
It's justified.
So but I also feel like I wouldn't bring home somebody I didn't think they would get along with. That I didn't think would be a cohesive part of our family unit. Because that's real important to me. So and if they didn't approve, I don't know that they would say anything, to be honest. Yeah. Like, to be 100% honest, don't know that they would. Yeah. Because if they thought that I was happy, that they would just leave me be. So.
Sure. Okay, I get you. Okay, so I know for me, like, one of my points on my checklist is I got to meet the girl's family first.
What do you mean? Before you meet her?
No. I got to meet the girl's families first before she
meets your family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to know if her family is good enough to meet my family.
Wow.
Yeah, because like when I look for a girl, I'm not just looking for her. I'm looking at her family as well. Can I get along with her dad? Can I get along with her mother, her brother, the sister? Yeah. Aunt and uncle, all that. The grandparents. So I'm also thinking about that before I bring her home.
To your family?
To my family.
So then what would you say that in that point in your relationship that you meet her family?
What would I say?
No, like what point in your relationship are you at? Are you newly dating? Are you midway dating? Are you like, this is it for me, I want to be with her?
Midway dating.
Midway? Okay.
Yeah. I guess you can't really put a time frame. It all depends on the person.
Yeah. But anyway, you'd be mid. You wouldn't be brand new, but you wouldn't be super serious.
Yeah.
You'd be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Meet her friends first and her family.
Got it. So like my youngest sister, has been dating this guy for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
They met at school.
Oh, wow.
And she hangs out at their house a lot. Like, but they're also, I think it's different because they are in college. And so our families have met before. Our parents have met, and she's gone to family holidays with them and all of that stuff. And so anyway, but I feel like she met them pretty early on, but also a different point. Like I feel like when you're in high school, college relationships, and you are hanging out with each other's families a lot, you don't necessarily have to be super serious to be meeting with them. Yeah. But they have been dating at for 2 years by this point. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of a long time for young kids.
Yeah, it is. Like for college age, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like relationships from high school going into college, like I feel, or at least in our day, they would want to break up because they want to experience college.
Yeah. No, they literally hooked up in college. They met freshman year. So,
okay. That's cool.
And now they're going into senior year. Oh my gosh, stop it. Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, no shit.
What was your favorite band as a kid? Because you 90s were really interesting in terms of music. 90s to early 2000s.
So at that time, I was real into hip hop.
Okay.
And I still listen to pop every now and then.
Yeah. But like who? So who was your fave?
Puff Daddy.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is Puff Daddy.
Will Smith.
Okay.
I think maybe a little bit of Usher, but not so much. I was mainly
Usher goes hard. If he ever goes on tour.
Back in the day, Usher.
Nah, but still, even if he went on tour today and played like Usher's greatest hits.
Oh, yeah. I'll do the greatest hits, but I don't like his new shit. It's not Usher.
Well, and that's like the same as, oh my God, I'm blanking. Yeah, Usher back in the day, really good. Like I appreciate like 90s Mariah.
Yes.
Like big time, I appreciate 90s Mariah. Yep. I think her voice and things that she's done has changed.
Yeah,
but Mariah was the best in the 90s.
She was.
So I love me some 90s Mariah. But I was definitely a boy band fanatic. All
NSYNC,
of them.
Backstreet Boys, 98
NSYNC was
Degrees.
the top. Man, you know them better than I do.
Well, because I love 90s. So, it's...
Yeah, like definitely NSYNC was the top. And then Backstreet Boys, and then loved me some 98 Degrees in O-Town. Who else did I like? There was like some random Disney bands that got put together for a while.
Okay,
do you remember all these rom-coms? Not Disney rom-coms, but basically they were like Disney Channel originals.
I do not
there was
remember
like
that.
some bands that spurred out of them for a while. And so, yeah, pop, love it. Yeah, love me some pop music from back then. Like, yeah, all the NSYNC albums. Yo, I had an NSYNC cassette tape.
What?
Cassette tape. I got it, I think, for my like 10th birthday.
Nice.
No, I lied. Maybe 11, somewhere around there. I got it, and I remember my friends like put their money in to buy me this cassette tape because they were like, CDs were coming out, but they were expensive. The cassette tape.
Yeah, they're like 1995.
Yeah, they were something
like 14
stupid.
songs. Yeah.
And so I remember they bought me the cassette tape, and it was like the NSYNC self-titled cassette.
Yeah. It was like blue and orange.
No. Yeah, it was like
the first one.
It was
their title album.
Yeah, it was blue, like
and
I don't want to say black and white. It was blue and it wasn't in color.
Oh, because you're talking about the cassette tape, though, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the CD. Never mind.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't afford the CD.
Well, because you know why I was able to get the
cassette
CD?
tape.
No, you know why? Because remember BMG Music House, like Columbia.
Oh, and they would send them to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how I got like all my 200 plus CDs.
Oh gosh.
Because you
had a
for one.
giant folder full of CDs.
I did, but you know what? I fucked up because we were doing a field trip and we were on a bus and it was like a 2-hour trip to go to somewhere or whatever.
And I took
it with me on the bus and I lent it out and boom, there goes like half of my CD collection.
Stupid.
I know.
They were probably like, oh my gosh, Rap, that's so cool. You have all those CDs. Can I borrow them?
I had like everything.
And you're like, yeah, here you go. You can take a look.
Everything. Like
Dang.
everything, like anything that was on the charts, I had it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had that cassette tape. I don't know if I ever, it's probably in my garage somewhere to tell you the truth. But I remember I had that cassette tape and the very first concert I went to though was a Backstreet Boys concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Backstreet Boys are actually going back on tour and I'm going to see the Backstreet Boys again.
Shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just went to Vegas to go see them.
Yeah. But I remember they were the very first concert that I went to go see was the Backstreet Boys. I got the tickets for Christmas. I remember.
No shit. That's cool.
And I didn't tell my mom. I was like, oh, what I like and sing. Like, because, it was like one or the other. You couldn't be both, right?
Yeah.
And so I just remember, like, we got the tickets. And I was like, oh, but I like NSYNC better. But I'm going to the Backstreet Boys because, you know, it's like that was like the next concert I think that was coming through town. But yeah, that was the first concert I ever went to.
No shit.
What was your first concert?
Lale.
What?
Lale. The Law, the Mexican group, Spanish group.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Because the girl invited me. I like the girl.
Lale?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah. I trust me, I had no idea who they were.
Got it.
But like every time I go down to the valley, I see like Lale 98.5
Like
or whatever.
still,
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
Apparently they didn't make it up to Houston because I have no idea.
Well, you guys had Chopped and Screwed. You guys were cool.
Yeah. Paul Wall.
Yeah. Paul Wall. You can,
And later on, Chameleonaire.
Eh.
Slim Thug.
yeah.
Bumby.
Zero. But yeah, anyway, so like I think that was,
Beyonce.
you know what? I did see Beyonce when I was in Florida, like with my
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend. And that was when Beyonce was Beyonce.
Yo, I saw Beyonce and Jay-Z last year.
Uh-huh.
That's probably one of the best concerts
Oh,
I've
really?
ever been to. Yeah, I kid you not. Like, they put so much. I appreciate when artists take so much pride in their craft.
They do.
And you could tell, like, a ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of thought went into that tour.
Yeah, and it's months of like preparation, months of choreography,
Yeah.
like learning all that shit. Yeah.
And then I watched her doc on Netflix about her
Oh, the
Coachella.
Homecoming?
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Coachella. And like really and honestly, that's crazy. Like how much work she put into that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
you
saw
can
them.
respect that.
Yeah, and I put I went to go see them last year, and yeah, it was probably the best concert, one of the best concerts I went to go see
Oh shit.
in person. And honestly, after that, it's probably Pitbull.
You know what? I'm just not a concert person.
You're not?
If I was to go see a concert, it would be two people. One would be probably Tupac. Just
Rest in peace.
yeah. And then the other one, another rest in peace, would be Linkin Park.
Interesting.
Yeah. Two.
Very different.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because I like, Tupac's message as contradictive as he was. And then I like Linkin Park. Controversial. Yeah. And then I like Linkin Park because they were so different and unique when they first came out.
Yeah.
And then they just like grew and grew and grew and just kept on growing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those will be the only two people that I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah. Yeah. So many concerts. I feel like I need to make more time because I do enjoy that because I feel like that's when people, like when artists put their best foot forward.
Yeah.
Is whenever they're on tour, when they're putting on a show. Like it's
Yeah.
like you see them in their most raw form. So, yeah.
So I did see Demi Lovato perform
Okay.
backstage because I did set up a gig for this national broadcaster show, and she was one of the keynote speakers. And so before she went on, before her keynote or her kind of her interview or whatever, she did like an acoustic act.
Yeah.
Of I don't even know what song she has. Anyway, it was kind of like nerve-wracking because I was backstage and I had to like do some connections on stage like right before she came on because there was an artist right before her. So I had to unplug her shit, or I had to unplug that artist shit, plug it into her shit, and like the back entrance was already like blocked off. I couldn't get out, and like I'm stuck on stage. Like her introduction video is still going on, and I'm still on stage like.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna like tear open these drapes and go down the stairs.
Yeah.
And she was like right there.
Oh, gosh.
She was like right there. It's like I literally like just like brush like right through her. Yeah, that was good times.
Good times. Good
times.
times. Well, we hope you enjoyed going down memory lane with us. This kind of turned it into an all-out 90s episode where we're just talking about all of our favorite things from our childhood, things that we missed, how that relates to dating and how times have really changed between when we were younger to now.
Yeah, totally.
So, so we'd love to hear from you. Do you have a favorite part from your childhood that you miss or that you wish, or something that you wish was still part of dating norm now? Do you have a crazy story of how your parents met, how you met your significant other? Definitely want to hear from you. So shoot us an email at contact@blahblahmarryme.com. Hit us up on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @blahblahmarryme. And welcome to the roundtable, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you join us next time.
Yeah, and guys, remember, open doors, pull out chairs, pick up the tab. I mean, even if she offers to pay for it, just that's your job.
Don't be a little bitch.
Don't be a little bitch. See y'all next week.
Bye.
I think I'm in love with you.
You love me?
I think I'm in love with you.
You love me?
When you know that song "Just the Two of Us" from Will Smith? So like he's telling Jaden, one of his lines was like, "Open doors, pull out chairs, easy on the swears."
Yeah.
Like I
Just
totally like wanted to get into that.
We
but,
can
okay.
make it if we try.
All right, let's do the intro.
Two of us, you and I. We should start with that. Like start just.